Corsair iCUE 5000T RGB Review. The Corsair iCUE 5000T is an attractive option with lots of features and great cooling performance, appealing primarily to RGB fans. Nonetheless, the considerable cost makes it comparatively expensive compared to other Corsair cases like the Obsidian 500D SE or iCUE 5000X. The 5000T emphasizes its RGB lighting heavily. Despite the wide range of cases made like this, Corsair has gone well beyond with the 5000T. It boasts 160 independently addressable LEDs set up in 6 bands, 2 apiece on the top, bottom, and front of the case. For each fan there are 16 more LEDs, adding up to 208 individually controllable LEDs, not including any others you would get from other hardware. Wow! All of the LEDs are associated with the supplied iCUE Commander Core XT controller. It can manage the RGB and velocities of 6 fans and can be further extended with a LED hub to govern up to 12 fans. An additional header is existing for a 3-pin RGB apparatus while 2 temperature sensors are provided as outlets. These are worthwhile for ramping up the housing fans when a part begins overheating. Inserting one into the backing plate of a GPU would be reasonable. The Commander XT is an outstanding feature. The 5000T does not just have a fashionable design. It arrives with 3 Corsair LL120 RGB PWM fans. Although that cost includes an RGB controller, it helps explain why the 5000T is so pricey. The fans work between 600 to 1500 RPM. At low speeds, they are virtually noiseless, but when running faster, as anticipated, they are quite audible. System installation is quite simple, but there are some idiosyncrasies that come up if you don't take the necessary steps to plan beforehand. For example, the power supply setup might necessitate taking out the hard drive cage, specifically in cases where the PSU cords are a bit stiff. The 360mm fan mounting plate behind the motherboard tray needs to be taken away to install a hard drive. This plate and the cable concealing plate on the motherboard side aren't as facile to remove as they could be, as the cable routing can cause issues. Fortunately for us, these kinds of minor frustrations are single-time actions. Once the assembly is complete, it is done forever. For this construct, we decided on components suitable for such housing. A Core i9-12900K and MSI Z690 Unify are ideal selections. Other Corsair parts were hand-picked as well, exhibiting H100i Elite LCD cooler and Dominator Platinum DDR5 5200 RAM. These give us an efficient structure to extensively assess Corsair's iCUE software. Though it could be deemed an undeniably taxing piece of software, our assessments established that iCUE functions admirably. The lighting components were properly activated across all Corsair products, embracing even a Corsair Glaive mouse that is almost 6 years old. The colors are brilliant and rich, and the software effortlessly blended the cooling of the H100i cooler with the 3 LL120 case fans. We're happy to report that even with the minimum recommended 240mm all-in-one cooler, there was no throttling observed while using Cinebench to stress test a 12900K CPU, and the LL120 fans sufficiently brought cooled air into the system, keeping the motherboard's voltage regulator module cool. A potential issue we noticed is the absence of a rear case fan. Even if you place fans on top of the case, a rear fan can still be beneficial, though its exclusion from this system is understandable. Regarding the cost of the Corsair 5000T, it is pitted against significant opponents not only in its price range but lower than that. The Corsair iCUE 5000X or Obsidian 500D SE, for example, are more affordable alternatives that lack some of the RGB features as well as the Commander XT controller offered by the 5000T. It is ultimately up to you to decide if all that added light is worth the price difference. If you are enthusiastic about RGB illumination and already have some Corsair components, then this case will doubtless delight you. Its open mesh arrangement can keep the sweltering parts cool and it is extremely durable. If you don't not mind forking out more for something suitable for numerous builds in the upcoming years, then the iCUE 5000T is the mark of excellence. Its sizable form will continue to mesmerize viewers. Though, we sense that it should be priced a bit lower so as to give us additional incentives to relish it.